Rats are everywhere, rats are everywhere, they're everywhere, rats. Hi guys, welcome to Living in Thailand. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you've been here before, thanks so much for coming on back. Your girl got a new video, and this time it's a little bit different. It is a lessons learned video. In July, I celebrated me living in New York City for 2 years, so it's my 2-year anniversary of living in New York City, and I wanted to document like lessons that I've learned from living here for 2 years. Granted, one of those years has been in complete lockdown with COVID, which COVID is still going on, but like when it was in the, probably will be back in the thick of it, but when it was like 2020, like that was like a whole year. But I feel like I've lived here for longer than 2 years, but also don't feel like I've lived here for 2 years at all. So I definitely wanted to give some lessons that I've learned over the 2 years. I know a lot of people that are like in transitional periods of their life, either moving to New York City or moving to another state or moving even out of the country. So I kind of wanted to document this too. Maybe this can help someone else as well. So I don't know, hopefully you find this beneficial. If you do, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, we're just gonna get right into it. So the 10 lessons that I've learned, and granted I have learned so many more from living in New York City. Just as a disclaimer, I'm originally from the South. I'm originally from Tennessee. I have lived in Atlanta for 4 years, and then I've also lived in Connecticut for a couple of years. So I actually moved to New York City from Connecticut. But yeah, these are the 10 lessons that I've learned from living in New York City for 2 years. Number one, New York City is really expensive. It is truly expensive. I know people say that all the time. I know that, you know, you think that it's just the rent. It's not. It's just an overall expensive city. From the rent, from the food, from the drinks, from the event, from the lifestyle, it is just expensive. Like, I never really budgeted until I got to New York, because I was just like, oh wow, all my money is gonna be gone. Like, all of my money is gonna be gone. Like, it is just expensive because there's just always something to do, and you want to go out, you want to explore, you want to see what New York has to offer, but that comes with the price. So it definitely is an expensive city. I would definitely say budget, and just knowing exactly like where your money is going, because it literally goes so quickly, and then you wake up and it's just like, how did I spend $800 in one weekend? And I like didn't buy any clothes, I didn't buy anything. It's just like I just went places. Like, it's crazy. $800 may be an exaggeration, but depending on what you do, it could definitely be, you know, that could definitely be realistic. Number two, there is an adventure like every single day. I feel like anytime I step outside of my apartment, there's gonna be something, and 9 times out of 10 that is true. Like, if I go to the grocery store, I will see a festival, and it's just like, oh, I didn't know that was going on. Then you stop by there, then you invite to the cookout. Or, you know, when I go to the park around my bike, I'll see like a block party, and I'm just like, oh, I didn't know that was happening. You'll stop. Or then when you go to the park, there's like 10 different events going on. Like, it is an adventure every single day. Even just like, if you think that you're going to brunch, say you say you're gonna go to brunch at 12:30, 1 o'clock, and it's like, okay, I'm just gonna do brunch today, and then you look up and it's 2 a.m. because you literally just like did something that, like, it goes so fast, and it's so crazy because you have one thing that you know that you're gonna do, and then like you kind of just have to leave it open because you know you're gonna get into something completely different by the end of the night. Like, there's always just stuff to do, always stuff to do. And then you meet somebody and they're like, oh yeah, I got tickets to this concert, and it's like, oh, so and so having a concert in the park, I didn't know about that. Yeah, here's a ticket. Then you go to concert at the park, and then it's 4 a.m. and it's on a Sunday, and then you wake up and you realize you gotta go to work tomorrow. It's just like, it's an adventure every day, every single day. If you step outside, you're gonna run into something. Number 3 is that you can truly be yourself here, and I know that you should be able to apply this wherever you live. Like, you should be able to be yourself everywhere, because, you know, that's like, it's you, right? I just feel like here, like, you can just step into that a little bit more. Like, New York just, it welcomes all, you know what I mean? Granted, it still has its problems, it still has its issues, but for the most part, like, you can just literally be whoever you want to be. You know what I mean? As long as you're not harming and hurting anyone else, but like, you can be whoever you want to be, which I truly, truly love that. I feel like I've definitely stepped into myself more here just because of the freedom that I feel like I have to just like explore things that I may not, you know, be able to explore in other cities. Like riding my bike, I truly love riding my bike, and the fact that there's so many people who ride bikes here, and there's tons of bike clubs, and that's just something to do. I feel like more of myself being able to do that, if that makes sense. Literally anything that you feel like you want to tap into, I'm pretty sure there's a community here in New York City that will welcome you with open arms. So you can truly, truly, truly be yourself here. Like, whoever you think yourself is, and you don't think that you're able to be yourself somewhere else, come to New York City and you can do that, like, for real. Number 4 is that I realized that people aren't rude, they just don't care, you know? Like, I grew up in the South, and you know, we were taught, and not even taught, but we just knew that like, if you go up north, they rude, they don't care about you, X, Y, Z, like, it's just like they mean. And that's what I always thought. That's what I always thought, especially in New York City. And then you get here and it's just like, they're not necessarily rude, they just don't care. Like, they don't care to leave the door open for you, or they don't care to make small talk with you. And that's not necessarily rude, it's just like okay, you know what I mean? Like, in the South though, it's like, especially on the train, is what I realized, because even if you see an old lady, it's not common that you just give up your seat for an elder or anything like that. Like, which when I first got here, I thought that was really, really like rude, and I was just like, they're not gonna give their seat up for, like, that person is definitely an elder and they should probably sit down. And it's just like, no, like, that's just not custom here, which is still a little bit, it's still a little bit weird for me. But I don't give up my seat either. But it still is a little weird that it's just not a common custom to, like, when you see someone, even if you see somebody struggling, that you just don't like automatically help. But in the South, it's like frowned upon if you don't, you know, give up your seat to an elder, open the door for a woman, X, Y, and Z. And to be honest, like, most of the time people try to leave the door open for you, like, if you are behind them. But if they don't, I used to be like, they rude. And now it's just like, okay, Tara, just open the door, you know? Like, you just open the door. So I don't necessarily think they're rude, I just think that they just don't care. And it's like, do they have to, you know? I don't think so. Number 5 is that grocery shopping isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be up here. One of the reasons why I was very hesitant to move to New York is because when I lived in Connecticut and I would visit, it's like, I could not get with the, how do y'all grocery shop? Like, what is this? Like, what are you talking about? Like, you have to carry your bags, like, and it's honestly not that bad. You just kind of, one, there's grocery stores literally everywhere in your neighborhood, like literally everywhere. And then you kind of adopt the mentality of just like going more frequently through the week instead of doing like big haul and big like grocery shopping, you know what I mean? So instead of me doing a huge list of things that I need for the house and like restocking everything, I go like maybe 2-3 times a week and like pick up things on the way. Now if I do, because I do love a Trader Joe's, and Trader Joe's unfortunately is not in my neighborhood, and I do try to stock up when I go to Trader Joe's, but what I do, I'll take the train there and just Uber back. So it's kind of the same concept of driving in a car, but that's one thing that I quickly realized. It's just like, it's not that bad. Grocery shopping is not that bad. So if you ever had some hesitation about moving to New York because of how grocery shopping is, it's honestly, it's not that bad. Number 6 is, and I'm from the South, so I definitely love a good restaurant, but New York City has the best and worst restaurants I think that I've experienced. The best because they do, like, the good ones are really, really good, are really, really good. but the bad ones are bad, and I just feel like they have like a lot of bad ones here. Like, I know New York is known for their food, and there's literally like so many restaurants here, but all of them aren't good. Versus I feel like in the South that we don't have as many restaurants, but the majority of them are good. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like here you really are looking at the Yelp reviews to see like if the food is good. You know what I mean? And yeah, that was something I'm just like, but the ones that are good are really good, but the ones that are bad are like super duper trash. Like, it's just like, how are you charging somebody $30 for food that tastes like feet? Like, it does not make sense. It does not make sense. Or like small portion, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So yeah, the best and the worst restaurants here. Number 7 is I have learned to pace myself by living here. And meaning that there's just so much going on all the time, especially since, you know, things have reopened up, and New York City is just like, it's a big city. There's so many people here. There's so many things to do. Like, I had to pace myself because I realized that I was like, you can just be going out like every single day. There's literally something to do every single day, like some event, something going on every single day. And like, pacing myself is like, okay girl, like, is your goal to actually, you know, be in the scene all the time, or do you need to kind of retreat, be in a house, get your stuff together? You know what I mean? And learning how to do that without having FOMO, which is fear of missing out. Just being able to know, like, it's okay if I don't make every single thing. You know what I mean? But in New York, there's so much going on that you want to make every single thing, and it's like learning that it's okay that I don't have to be out every single day or at every single thing or every single function. Like, that's okay. Number 8 is that rats are everywhere. 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 They're everywhere. Rats are everywhere. Rats are everywhere. Rats are everywhere. They're everywhere. Rats are everywhere. They're like everywhere. Everywhere. Rats are everywhere. Like, I see a rat every single day. Every single day, if I step outside, especially at nighttime, I'm going to see a rat outside. And it's just like, why am I subjecting myself to live like this? You know what I mean? I do love it here, but that is like the top of the things that I hate. Rats. Top of the thing. Top of the list of the things I hate about New York is that there's rats every freaking where. And they're not mice, they're rats. They're like rats. And they're here, and I scream every single time I see one, and people look at me like, girl, it's just a rat. And it's just like, no, I will never get comfortable with seeing rats, and I'm making sure that I never get comfortable with seeing rats. Like, but they're here, they're everywhere, they're here to stay. They are a little bit more, they are more scared of you than you are. Like, they are more scared of us, but they're so big that I'm just like, there's no way you scared of me. Like, you my size. You can't be scared of me, you're my size. So yeah, rats are like everywhere. Number 9 is that walking a mile is like nothing. Like, walking here, you do so much walking, which is great. But it's also like, when I'm around other people and I start walking, they're just like, okay girl, like let's slow down. But like, walking a mile and a half is like nothing. Absolutely. You walk so much here and you don't really feel it until the next day, but then your body gets accustomed to it. But yeah, I think you could just get some good comfortable shoes, and like, New York is a walking city. And I walk so much. I walk literally so much. So lastly, number 10 is, it is what you make it. And that you can take for any city that you live in, but specifically New York, it is what you make it. Learning that I have to make this what I want to make it. So I could harp on the negative and always think about the high rent that I pay, seeing rats all the time, taking the subway, which sometimes can be gross, or I can take that and put it alongside, like I get to go to the parks, I get to, you know, see tons of free events, I get to ride my bike, I get to do all of these other things. That's what you make it. Like, if you continue to look at the negative, then you're gonna have a negative experience. And I just think that learning that, because I would complain a lot when I first moved here. I hated it when I first moved here, like hated it. And then, you know, I just realized that, okay girl, are you gonna stay here and complain, or are you gonna like make something out of this, you know what I mean? And I decided to make something out of it, and I learn to look at the positive, like the architecture. I love seeing brownstones. I love the fact that like these buildings, the way the sun hit the buildings sometimes, it's just like beautiful. And it's just taking those small moments of appreciation and focus on that more so than focus on the negative, because there is a lot of negative here. Like, it is, and there's a balance. So it is what you make it. That's what I'm gonna say. Those are the 10 lessons that I've learned from living here for 2 years. Granted, like I said it before, there are so many other lessons that I've learned. Like, it's crazy. You just learn so much here at like a super fast pace. Like timing, being late, all that. Like, it's just, it's crazy. But yeah, I hope you guys like this video. I definitely wanted to make this to just document how I feel being 2 years in, and then maybe at 3 years it'd be different, or 5 years it'd be different, and just seeing what I think of then. But yeah, super excited to be here. Out of all the places that I've lived, I think that this is my favorite so far, and hopefully God keeps me here for a while. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.